Welcome to First Time Watching. Undertone is the new A24 horror masterpiece to grace us with its presence. While the premise seems simplistic, Undertone is surprisingly deep. The movie follows Evie, the host of a popular paranormal podcast, who becomes haunted by terrifying recordings mysteriously sent her way. In this video, we are going to take a look at the ending and explain what happens to Evie after the screen goes black. But first, please like, subscribe, and hype up the video as we jump into the movie recap of Undertone. Evie sits with her dying mother. The woman is old and wheezes as she breathes, but in the evenings, Evie has a different hobby. She sits behind her laptop, puts on her noise-canceling headphones, and calls Justin. He asks her about her mom, so she tells him it ain't great. She is now at that stage where it might be better if it were over. Justin is dating Deb. They are doing great, but he misses Evie, and they live quite far apart. They have a podcast together where they check up on ghost stories. Justin has pre-prepared one for this episode, so they start the intro music, and Evie does the intro for their podcast called Undertone, where they talk about all things creepy. Evie gives the floor to Justin to start his segment. In their last episode, they spoke about the legendary I Feel Wonderful video that caused 92 people to kill themselves after watching it. Evie turns on the video and starts watching it, but Justin freaks out and tells her to stop it. So after that episode, he got an email with 10 audio files labeled LOL. The message were random descending letters and a smiley face. So he sends the files to Evie. Justin has already listened to the first file. It was a phone recording from a young couple, but he turned it off because he wanted to listen to them on the podcast. So they kick off with file number 1. A guy records that his girlfriend Jessa has been talking in her sleep every night, so he is going to record her to prove it. They go to sleep. Justin tells Evie there is some sound about 4 hours into the file, so they skip ahead and Jessa is singing in her sleep. Justin says that's about it, so they skip to file number 2. The guy says that Jessa believes him now, and they go to bed again, where Justin skips to the sound bump in the night. There is a bunch of rustling. It sounds like there are children singing in the background. The music is distorted, and it sounds like Jessa was sleepwalking and listening to London Bridge in reverse. Justin thinks he hears Mike Kill all in the lyrics of London Bridge, and then a loud static scares them. But when he asks her about Mike Kill all, Evie tells him she doesn't believe it. So Justin does a quick Google search, and they stumble upon some old queen who believed orphans needed to be sacrificed to the bridge, and she killed all 9 of her children. But Evie tells him all these old kids' songs can be messed up. She tells him to look up Ba Ba, Black Sheep. He plays it in reverse for her, which basically leads them to an article that describes that all kids' songs are cautionary tales about adults killing kids. File number 3. The boyfriend is snoring when Jessa calls out to Mike. Mike's her boyfriend. The water runs in the background, and then there is a high-pitched ring. Justin is excited because Mike Kill all connects, but Evie needs a break. They will continue another day. He sends her the reversed version of Ba Ba, Black Sheep, as they call it, Quits. The lights turn on in the hallway behind her, so she goes upstairs to check on her mom. Evie sits with her and wishes her a good night. The next morning, Evie starts the day by puking and calls the doctor to make an appointment for a pregnancy test. She can come in tomorrow morning. Then the nurse comes by to check on Evie's mom. She comes to tell her that her mom should pass away any day now. Evie asks when she'll know, so the nurse explains she will hear a rattle in her breath, a death rattle. Her boyfriend Darren calls to tell her he is hosting a party and wants her to be there. She is annoyed with him, but doesn't want to tell him no either. But at the time of the party, she finds shit in the bed with her mom, so instead of going, she has to clean the brown pudding out of the sheets. After she is done, she tells her mom she'll be right back. The next morning, Evie returns, puts a kettle on the stove, and goes to check upstairs, but her mom is on the floor next to the bed, so she puts mommy back to bed and regrets leaving her. In her mother's drawer, she finds a drawing of a woman killing a child, but she thinks nothing of it. That night, she listens to the reversed version of Ba Ba, Black Sheep and tries to find the hidden message in the song. Evie can clearly hear Look and Lick the Blood Off in the song and gets spooked when her doctor calls. He has some news. She is pregnant. She tells him she needs some time to think about her options and hangs up. The next morning, Evie swears she hears the water running upstairs, so she goes up to look. The faucet is on, but there is no one that could have turned it on. Her mom is still dying in her bed, but it gives Evie hope. Some weird, holy statue consuming infants appeared on her nightstand too, so Evie puts the scary thing in the closet. That night, her phone rings. It's Darren, so she ignores his call and pours herself a glass of whiskey like a responsible pregnant person and sits behind her laptop to listen to a voicemail from her mom. She called her because she hasn't seen Evie in a long while, and Evie focuses on her mom saying, "I'm praying for you." This makes her look up hidden messages and prayers, and she stumbles down a weird rabbit hole but gets distracted by a call from Justin. He checks in with her. She She tells him that after her mom dies, she might get her own place. She doesn't know yet if she'll go back to Darren, but doesn't want to talk about it further and suggests they just start the episode. So they jump straight into the fourth file. There is a metallic voice, and Jessa is using a baby sleep time doll to scare Mike. Evie wants Justin to pause it because she has a video of the doll in the video, which is indeed freaky. And one other thing they mentioned in the video is a baby room. Is Jessa expecting? They listen on and skip to the bump in the night. There is a loud banging, which scares both Jessa and Mike, and then the file ends. Evie thinks it has to be faulty plumbing, but Justin believes he heard a voice. They replay it, and it's a sort of whisper, so they go on to the next file. The banging continues, but Jessa is chanting something, and it's like there is also a banging in Evie's home. Mike tries to snap her out of it. That's all Evie can handle for now. She needs sleep. She'll look into it a little more, and they'll record again in a couple of days. There is an electrical buzzing sound coming from upstairs, and the light bulb is acting weird. Evie goes to her mom's room, and as she turns the lights off, it's like someone is behind her. So she fixes the light and goes to bed. The next morning, she takes care of her mom when the picture frame above her falls crooked. Evie decides to listen to the fourth file again. She wants to know what that whisper was, so she isolates the sound and enhances it. It's that weird chant. It says, Uziba ni imak. Evie repeats it. She repeats that same chant until deep into the night when the light flickers and her mom is downstairs. She wheezes, and then Evie wakes up. Evie is talking to Justin, and he tells her the chant means come in, Abazu in reverse, just like she heard in her dream, and Abazu is known as the child taker. Abazu was an infertile woman, so she was envious of new mothers. She sneaked into their homes and strangled their babies to death. The king had her hanged for her heinous acts, but her spirit stayed and twisted her into a demon who wandered the world to cause miscarriages and stillborn babies. Evie is a little spooked, but she wants to move on with the sixth file. Mike and Jessa wake up. He asks her if she dreamed anything, but she doesn't remember any of it. She doesn't remember her loud chanting. Justin thinks she might have been possessed by a demon, but Evie believes she just suffered some type of psychosis. And Justin notices that the sound file of her chanting has an underlying different voice, but since they aren't audio engineers, they go on to file number 7. Mike and Jessa go to bed, so Justin skips ahead. Evie knows there is something in her home. A baby wakes up Mike. He runs to the kitchen. Jessa screams. There was a baby in the sink. She swears it. Evie's sink was also dripping. Justin tries to email the guy who sent him the files, but his mail bounced back, and now that he checks again, the message in the mail is come in Abazu spelled backwards. Evie insists that he plays the next file, number 8. There is a loud bang, so Mike gets up to check it. Bah, bah. Black Sheep plays. He walks towards it. Evie looks over. They hear a baby, and Jessa screams, so he runs back to her. Jessa tells Mike he saw her. Justin scours the internet for come in Abazu, spelled backwards, and stumbles upon a study about 2 people who were obsessed with the phrase. One texted come in Abazu to all her contacts, and then drowned her baby in the sink. The other was a ceramic artist who made statues of dead children and gave them to mothers, and then committed suicide. She was 5 months pregnant at that time. So Justin thinks they should stop listening and forget about it, but Evie thinks they should keep listening. She thinks they are really onto something here. They should split it into 2 episodes. This is too good. While Justin records the outro, Evie follows a banging and a ring upstairs. She goes to her mom. She tells her that she's pregnant and wants to name her Mary. The light turns on behind her. As she goes to check it, her mom gets up, but Evie closes the door and looks back to find her mom knocked out in the bed. Evie grabs a bottle of pills and swallows a handful. She turns off the lights, but has a bad feeling. She lays in bed and puts in her noise-canceling earplugs to listen to a sleep meditation. But this lady changes the story. In her calm voice, she talks about dying children, and then she wakes up. Evie can hear her mother praying. She goes to her bedroom. She can hear her praying for the sinners. She turns on the light, and her mom's voice is gone. She begs her mom. She needs her to answer her. Evie calls her doctor and leaves a voicemail. She wants a referral to the women's clinic, and then turns the lights off on her mom again. That's when she gives her final breath. Justin does the intro for the next episode, where they will listen to the final 2 files. While Justin rambles on, Evie draws and scoffs at Justin because she thinks these files are fake, but Justin believes they are listening to a real demonic possession. He invited people to call in live during the recording if they have any information. So they jump into file number 9. Jessa doesn't feel good. She remembers last night. She remembers that Mike was gone. Someone else was beside her, so she prays prayed, but then the shadow started praying too, and then she laughs demonically and the file stops. Justin notices that the time on his laptop is wrong. It should be 20 to 9, but it shows 20 to 3, and then the phone rings. They pick up. It's a guy. He tells them that he lived on the same street as Mike and Jessa, and by listening to the files, it now makes sense. The police found them at the bottom of the stairs with plastic bags over their heads and dead babies drawn all over the walls. He tells them that Jessa was 5 months pregnant, but then the line gets disconnected. The phone rings again. It's a woman. She calls about a crazy lady that used to live in their basement. She played music in reverse every night. She tells them that the lady was arrested for killing her baby. They all heard this loud, hollow banging coming from the vents. Evie starts laughing. She doesn't believe the callers, but Justin thinks it's really all real. He doesn't want to listen to the 10 file, but Evie demands him to turn it on. Jessa tells Mike she's listening. She has to warn her, and then she runs off. Mike follows her, and there is a loud banging coming from upstairs, and then the file stops. It won't play again. The clock hits 3, and then skips a second. Music starts playing in reverse. Mike calls out to Jessa. Evie's mom wakes up as Jessa screams. The lights flicker to the sound of ba ba, black sheep. Jessa is so cold, and they hear a baby crying, and then Jessa calls out to Justin. So Evie thinks he is pranking her, and then the phone rings. A woman wants to speak with Mary. He tells her there is no Mary there. There is a loud knocking in Evie's house. Another woman calls and tells them they shouldn't have called out to her. Abazu waits in the 10 file at the witching hour. They shouldn't have listened. The woman's voice distorts. She likes to lick all the blood off her fingers. The phone rings again. A baby cries. The woman doesn't know what to do. She asks Justin for help. She tells him he won't stop crying. Her name is Abby. She wants him to stop crying. She'll make it stop and puts the baby in the sink. That'll make it stop. Evie tries to tell Abby that she is good enough, that she should call the police for help. Evie tries to keep her from killing her baby by telling her that she killed her mother when she was young. Her mom used to pray for her every night, and when she got really sick, she asked Evie to pray for her, but she didn't do it, and then her mom stopped eating and talking. It was too late to pray, so she killed her mother. Evie tells Abby she's good because she believes in her. The baby cries in the background, and Abby starts laughing. A distorted voice says it's too late. Evie tells Justin to trace the call. Ba Ba Black Sheep starts playing in reverse, and the lights flicker behind Evie. Justin calls out to her, but Evie walks to the TV. There is a picture of a woman on the screen. She unplugs it, but that doesn't fix it. Evie looks at her drawings together, and they show a woman killing her baby. The kitchen is a mess, and the chairs are on the ceiling. Whispers are haunting the house. All the things Evie told her mom. The light bulbs explode, and then it's silent. Justin's voice returns, and then she hears the chant, "Come in, Abazu." Justin wants to help her, but the voice is coming from upstairs. There are drawings all over the wall of dead babies. Evie goes to her mother's room, and the noise stops. Her mother's gone. The lights go out. She finds the Mary statue with the babies on her bed, and her mother is in the bathroom. She walks backwards, and then Evie falls down the stairs as she screams out to her mother, to Justin, for help. A baby cries, "Something is wrong, Justin," and then she repeats the chant as her voice distorts. So in the end, everything escalates when Evie and Justin listen to the 10 file. Abby, which is the real form of Abazu, calls. She sees herself as a bad mother and wants to drown a baby to stop the crying. Evie tries to talk her down by telling her she is a good mother and by telling her she killed her own mother, but it's already far too late at this point. They should have never listened to the files in the first place. On the TV in the living room is the woman from the reversed Ba Ba Black Sheep video that Evie found online earlier in the movie, all while Abazu took control of Evie's mother. Now, the screen goes black, so we can't really see what happens in the ending, but it's actually quite easy to understand because the boy who called and said he lived on the same street as Mike and Jessa already explained what was going to happen to her. He said that when the police arrived, they found their bodies with plastic bags over their heads at the bottom of the stairs. At the ending of the movie, there are flashes of Evie with a bag over her head. You can hear her falling down the stairs, and there are drawings all over the walls of a woman killing babies. So it's easy to assume that this is what happens to Evie. Now, what happens to Justin is an entirely different thing. He doesn't have children, nor is there any mention of his girlfriend being pregnant, but that doesn't mean he is safe. It could mean that Abazu is already inside of him and will finalize the ritual whenever the time is right, but I believe Justin survived the ordeal. And that's a wrap. Please like, subscribe, and hype up the video, as I'll see you next time.